I'm with Scott Levy, Arley Wholesale. We are at Coverings 2015 in Orlando. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Dave. How are you?
Now, this is one heck of a show.
You know, it's really impressive. Every single booth space is taken this year. They are sold out. There's absolutely more factories here than I've seen since the recession. And there's a very good buzz in the air.
And it seems like the attendance is up, at least from my uneducated viewpoint.
I would say it is. I think there's more people coming this year now that, the economy is starting to come back. They're coming out to see what the new trends are going to be, see what's going on. There definitely seems to be more buying happening this year from what the factories are telling me. They're getting more commitments and more sold orders. That's good for the industry.
And that's what you're seeing, your people are seeing out in the hustings.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there is definitely business out there, and, now that the snow has stopped, people are, up in the north, people are going out and they're looking to refresh their looks and their ideas. With all the technology that's out today in ceramic tile, there's so many fresh new looks that change constantly that it's endless what you can do in your house today.
I guess February and March weren't all that stellar for anybody doing any kind of business in the Northeast.
Yeah, it was tough, but there was still an undercurrent of business that was there, and it was a strong quarter for us, and we're seeing really explosive things happening right now in the marketplace. It's a very exciting time.
Now, new is interesting. Everybody wants to see new, but I guess the bottom line is if you can't get that where you need it, when you need it, at a price you need it, what does it matter? Right.
I mean, there's plenty of factories showing product today, but the reality is many of them will never be able to bring it to market because they don't have either the wherewithal financially or the marketing to put it out there, and they're just testing the water. What we try to do is go to the tried and true factories, go to some of the larger factories that have a very good, strong economic foothold, and they make tile. Because especially as you come out of a recession and things are moving, one of the biggest problems we have actually isn't sales, it's getting the product. And so we have to make sure that someone has that product available for us so we can fulfill all our customers' needs.
So then it's very likely, say a retailer comes here, finds something that they like at a manufacturer, they may not be able to get that through their distributor, even though they like the product.
That's correct. And what happens is because distributors tend to run with, deep into factories because it's easier to turn material, it's easier to move material. So a lot of these smaller factories are coming out with the same looks. There's something about it that's wrong. There's a reason they're a smaller factory. And the look doesn't work for someone like us. Now, it could work for someone else, but for someone of our size and the responsibilities we have to our customer base, we have to make sure we can get the product.
And and I guess now, as you mentioned, coming back, I guess there's cash flow problems that many manufacturers has to be an uphill battle. And how do you separate the wheat from the chaff?
Unfortunately, a lot of it comes from just experience, and it also comes from really understanding the factories. When we go to buy from a new factory, we travel to the factory, no matter what country it's in. We meet with the ownership. We go through the warehouses. We watch them make the tile. We understand what they do to make sure that what they showed here at the show wasn't the best they're ever going to do. And it's really important to understand that. And as we've changed as a company, we've really learned which ones are the ones you can count on, which are the people you can count on, and which ones are where their word is their bond, and which ones are really going to be there for the long term, and that's who we partner up with.
So you have a feel for the factors and can judge what they're saying as to if this is going to really come to pass or maybe not.
Usually, yes. I mean, everyone makes a mistake here and there, but the best thing to do is, we look at it as we have a huge responsibility to our customers. They trust us to help them, and they trust us to supply them. So they don't care what our problem is. They don't care what the factory's problem is. They just know that we told them that this is a good product. So we have to make sure we have it there for them. And I'm happy to say that we really have weeded out a lot of factories that can't do that for us, and that it's an exciting time because our closing ratio with customers is so much better than it ever was, based upon the fact that we have the right partnerships and we have the right inventory mixes.
Give our listeners and viewers a little thumbnail of the organization, what you do, what you concentrate on, and the areas that you serve. And I think you're also interesting because you had at one point been a full floor covering distributor.
That's correct. We were a full floor covering distributor, and as times changed, we looked at it and said specialization will be the key to the future, especially when it comes to ceramic tile and stone, because it is a very difficult market. And if you don't do it right, it can be a very expensive mistake and a very expensive learning curve. So we decided to specialize in what we do, and we found a niche in that we are a wholesale-only company. Many people in the ceramic tile and stone area are retailers first, and then also do wholesale. So you're buying from someone who actually could be your competitor. We are not that way. So we have a trust factor with companies because they know that we're there to support them and help them. We're not there to take their business. And also, it's helped us to grow in the fact that we brought in a lot of sundry products, a lot of the backer boards and underlayment products and installation products necessary. So we kind of become a one-stop specialization supplier for these stores where they can get everything from their tile to their mortar to their grout to their schluter if it's necessary, to their underlayment, everything from one supplier with one phone call. And it makes it a lot easier for them.
I can remember being at a seminar, this was probably 15 years ago, maybe longer, and it was full of distributors, and they asked how many were retailers in addition, and almost every hand went up. Suppose that happened today, would that still be the situation?
It actually still would be the situation. There's very few people that do what we do, that just specialize in wholesale only, because it's the retailer side of it is more profitable. You can sell at a higher margin and everything else. But we decided to be that outlier and to go back to what true distribution was and really concentrate. And what we've done now is when you have one thing you do, and you're going to be, every day you wake up and how do I make my retailers' lives better, easier? How do I help them become more profitable? It becomes very easy from the top down to make decisions because you make them for things that benefit your customer base. You don't make them for you. It has to help your customer base, and therefore it will help you in the long run. That's helped us grow from a small regional player in upstate Pennsylvania and upstate New York to now we're on the entire East Coast from Maine to Florida, about as far west as Chicago.
I see. Now, talk about floor covering retailers and what you're seeing with their move into ceramic and stone.
Many of them who have done it for a while now are starting to understand it, starting to get it. But many people need marketing help. Number one most important thing is marketing help and a knowledge and an understanding of how to install and what to do. We spend a lot of time training. We do a lot of seminars with our customers, for our customers, helping them learn how to install tile the proper way, showing them how to sell tile the proper way, showing them how to make money selling tile and not leave money on the table, showing them how to compete with a Home Depot and a Lowe's and a Floor Decor, showing them all these things, showing them how to compete with the internet, all these things that can help them going forward. We private label everything for them so they can have a complete private labeled showroom so they're not stuck matching prices against someone even down the road because everyone has different prices. Different names on their products, and it becomes easier for them to keep their margin and for them to sell more product.
So it's more than just putting a couple of racks in with some tile on it. I guess you have to really change your whole viewpoint from selling carpet and wood.
Yes, there are distributors out there who are successful who just throw product out there, and that's what they do. That's not our mix, and it's not who we are. And I really believe in my heart that one of the reasons why we've had the growth we've had and the loyalty from customers is because of all the value added that Arley brings to the table in teaching you what to do, in showing you how to make money, and in there helping you with credit lines, helping you even inventory, showing you how to inventory. We guarantee inventory for certain projects to help customers make more money along the way.
How about pricing? What are you seeing in terms of pricing out in the field?
Well, the prices come down on a lot of products as the euro has devalued against the dollar. It's really changing a few things. And also technology also ends up making things a little bit less expensive as it goes forward. As people get their economies of scale from the manufacturing side, sometimes it gets passed down through as well. But it really doesn't come down to price as much as the look. The look still is the number one thing. We have products that are in our top 10 that are some of the most expensive products we have, by far. But they're in our top 10 in sales because they're drop dead gorgeous and people want them. So pricing, while very important, it really isn't as important. If you're a consumer, perfect example, if you're a consumer and you see something at $1.99 retail and something at $3.99 retail, and you don't like the thing at $1.99, it doesn't matter that it's $1.99. It's ugly. You don't want it. It always, in a fashion industry, which is what tile and stone is, it comes down to looks first. Pricing is part of that decision, but looks is always the most important.
So would you say then, at least in terms of your customer base, the floor covering retailers that are most successful are more mid to higher end?
I would say they're more mid to, as a pure floor covering store, selling all different kinds of floor covering, yes. They can get a longer dollar, and they also can get that customer that has a deeper pocket. Because because they're selling higher end products, that kind of customer is more likely to be doing their whole house rather than just a backsplash. But there's money to be made on the low end side of it as well. You just have to understand how to make money with it, and that's what we try to help our dealers do.
That's really, the education needs to go along with the product at the front end.
Correct, because you'll never be the cheapest guy. There's always someone out there blowing something out. There's always someone out there who's going to try to sell it cheaper. And if that's your only weapon you have is price, eventually you're not around to talk about it. So you have to understand how to make money in this industry and how to upsell your customers so that you can make more money. And actually, they're more happy in the end. I mean, the studies have all proven that when someone buys something they really like and appreciate it, it feels better to them longer term than, oh, I got this really cheap.
Well, I think, too, you were talking about selling higher design product. I suppose the more they fall in love with the product, the less dollars and cents becomes an issue.
That's correct. And also, one of the things we try to do is there's a lot of looks here that are really, really expensive and just not in the budget by the time you put on what is going to be at a retail price for a lot of people. We try to take that and we try to make it, again, or have someone make it for us at a price point that can then go to the masses. You know, that's really what it is. There's certain products that are absolutely gorgeous, but at $65 retail, they're not going to sell much. But if we can take that design and so our retailers can make money and sell it out there at $8 retail, that's going to sell every day, and everyone's going to be happy, and the consumer's going to get that look they want.
So I guess going through here with all the new, it's a lot more complicated for you, isn't it, to find that magic price, a product that you think will sell, and a company that'll actually do what they say they do.
It is hard. I mean, you can see a lot of products, but finding that right mix is the most important thing. And long-term, for a long-term relationship and a long-term growth with a product line, it all has to work. If there's some part of that work that doesn't work, it tends to fall apart pretty quickly out in the field. But when you have something that works, you can run a line for 7, 8, 9 years if everything's working well with it, and everybody along the way is happy, including the consumer.
I had a conversation earlier today with a contractor, and they told me that finding qualified installers is their biggest problem. That's got to be a problem with every one of your customers.
It's a huge problem in the industry, and it's something that the industry is trying very hard. The CTDA, the Ceramic Tile Distributors Association, and the NAFCD, I know, are out there pushing classes, trying to teach it. I think it's a wonderful trade for people to learn. There's a lot of money to be made as a tile installer. Very good tile installers can do extremely well and create designs and beautiful things, and there is a demand for it. You can work every day as a tile installer right now.
So there's a re-education problem? I guess a lot of kids seem to me grew up, or are growing up to the age to college age anyway. You need to go to college, and that's just sort of a given. And of course, there's a lot of people that have done that and have a lot of debt and still can't find a job.
That's correct, and I will tell you that someone who goes to college, and I have a daughter about to go to college right now, and I really understand the costs of going to college. And to go into debt, and there's a lot of people that come out in debt, $30,000, $40,000 in debt, and then they go to work in a job making $25,000 a year. The math doesn't add up. A good tile installer will go in, have no debt whatsoever, learn a trade, and make well more than that instantly.
Maybe own their own business.
Absolutely. Down the road they would.
Get a head start.
Sure, and then understand and know something where they can make money not only selling the product, they can make money installing the product. I mean, there's many ways along the chain to make money.
Scott, always great to talking with you, and it sounds like you've had a great show here.
Great time. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. We've been talking with Scott Levy with Arley Wholesale. We're at Coverings 2015 in Orlando, and this is Talk Floor TV.